Anadolu District Governorate banned all demonstrations and events in the district ahead of the March 8th Feminist Night Parade on the grounds that the event might cause outrage and provocations by terrorist organizations. Women gathering in Taksim, which was blockaded by the police, were detained. On the other hand, after the Feminist Night Parade in Izmir, many women who resisted against the attempted detention of a woman carrying a Killer Erdogan tattoo were also detained. Journalist Genca Karafazlı was sentenced to 2 years in prison for reporting on Recep Tayyip Erdogan University faculty member, Associate Professor Dr. Serhan Hacı Caferoğlu's allegations of harassment and mobbing against students. Folk singer Kutsal Evcimen, who was accused of insulting President Erdogan and Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu through his social media posts, was sentenced to 11 months and 20 days in prison for each post. The prison sentences were converted into fines of 7,000 Turkish liras each. After 49 days under arrest, journalist Sedef Kabaş was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months in prison for insulting the president in March last year. Exactly 1 year later, another case was filed against her with the same accusation. A lawsuit was filed against Republican People's Party Istanbul Provincial Chair Canan Kaftancıoğlu for insulting the president after she said, "We will remove a dictator from this country through democracy," in her speech at a meeting at the Istanbul Planning Agency headquarters in August. A lawsuit was filed against Mesopotamia Agency reporter Fıratcan Arslan and G-News reporter Dilan Babat for targeting people who took part in the fight against terrorism while covering the funeral of murdered journalist and writer Nagihan Akarsel. The retrial of the rights defenders, whose convictions in the Büyükada case were overturned by the Court of Cassation, started at Istanbul 35th Assize Court. After the earthquake, the Peace Mothers made a statement reacting to the continued cross-border airstrikes of the Turkish armed forces and saying that all means should be directed to the aid in the earthquake zone. An investigation was launched against the mothers for publicly disseminating misleading information to the public. The police attacked the press statement organized by We Will Stop Femicides platform for the victims of the earthquake in Ankara, detaining many women. In Osmaniye, one of the provinces devastated by the earthquake, the governorate banned all protests and events on the grounds of the protection of national security, public order, and the indivisible integrity of the state. Sözcü Daily columnist Saygı Öztürk claimed that civilians were made to wear military uniforms in the first days of the earthquake based on Professor Dr. Nazan Savaş was blocked from access. Access to news reports on the sale of earthquake aid and second-hand clothes accumulated in clothes banks to the company AJ International was blocked. An access block was imposed on news reports about Şarköy's Voice Daily editor Deniz Önal being attacked by the mayor's brother for his news on an irregularity file. Ahmetspor footballers traveling to Bursa for the match against Bursaspor were targeted by racist attacks. In the stands, a Kurdish fan was lynched and banners were unfurled in support of the white tourists identified with the unsolved murders in the 19th and Mahmut Yıldırım, the intelligence officer nicknamed Yeşil. A number of objects including knives, bullets, iron bars, firecrackers were thrown on the pitch and the attack was continued by Bursaspor personnel and security officers in the corridors of the dressing room at the end of the game. Susma24 platform launched the Censorship and Self-Censorship in Turkey, January to December 2022 report. Throughout 2022, many concerts and festivals were banned and public morality and social sensitivities were used as justification for censorship. Musicians were targeted and attacked, while many artists faced racist bans and punishments. 26 international and Turkey-based civil society organizations, including members of the Solidarity Network for Human Rights Defenders and 7 bar associations from Turkey, submitted a comprehensive notice to the Council of Europe on the exercise of the right to freedom of peaceful assembly, which is under severe threat in Turkey.